The Tangent Egg podcast is aimed at a mature audience. It contains themes that are not appropriate for all listeners. It's important to note that we are not experts. We routinely have no idea what we're talking about and are just three idiots sitting around a table. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Tangent Egg Podcast. I'm Seth, and as always with me are Swoosh and John Doe.
Hello!
Hi.
And gotta start off with something that's, good for once. I like it when we actually get to start the episode with good news, not like a pile of layoffs.
Yeah, that is preferable.
So, for anyone, who... I've honestly thought about checking this out, them out again for a while now. The StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 campaigns are coming to Game Pass.
Yay! It's been so long since I played those games.
I already have them on my Blizzard account, but this is exactly what I wanted to happen when when they bought ActiBlizz.
Now, all they need to do is get the D2 remastered version on there.
That'd be great. Look, I just kind of hope this stimulates them into making a new game. I would like more stuff.
There is rumor. We don't know enough about it for me to really, that's why I wasn't going to bring it up, but there is a rumor going around that they are working on a StarCraft first-person shooter.
Like Ghosts again.
No, not Ghost. Something else.
I mean, at the same time, we'll eventually get, Half-Life 3. But it's, I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but I would like more StarCraft.
I'm just saying, rumors right now are that they are working on something else with the StarCraft property. They're not just not doing anything.
Would it not look identical to Space Marines if you're playing as Terrans?
Kinda. But I also kind of want that to happen.
Terrans versus Zergs, that'd just be Space Marines.
Well, I mean, StarCraft was based off the original Warhammer. It was back, basically what happened, Blizzard was started as a games company. They wanted to make Warhammer games. And when they approached Warhammer, they said no. So they adapted and changed the history, but they still kept a lot of the base theming.
I mean, I'm not going to call you out on it, but I sure remember things saying that they based the Zerg off the Xenomorph, not the
that's what I mean.
Tyranids.
They took a lot of stuff, but it was all different things. So it's they wanted that. But when they didn't get the contracts, well, we've got all the stuff ready. Let's just put a new layer over it. Fuck. Yeah. And they are very different now.
Yeah, very much so. Look, I'm pretty keen if they are doing something else, but I agree with you. I hope that this, stimulates them to be hey, actually, there's still a lot of interest in StarCraft. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I'd been recently kind of thinking, do I want to install Blizzard's launcher and play StarCraft again? And it's oh, hey, I'll just be able to do it through Game Pass.
Yeah. Which makes me so happy.
Yeah. And I haven't played original StarCraft in ages.
No.
It's been a while. Yeah.
I still have StarCraft 2 installed. Couldn't tell you the last time I played it. But the original is that's my game. As a kid, holy shit, I dumped so much time into that.
Same.
Oh, and StarCraft 2... if they put the whole campaign on there, that's a pretty good value proposition.
Yeah,
that's actually 3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because each race got their own title. Zerg 1 arguably being the best, but,
Oh, of course, but...
Yeah.
I'm very keen for this. I've been getting that, real-time strategy itch again. So this is perfect timing for me.
But even the first one had its own expand-alone.
Had
DLC.
War.
Yeah. So... looking forward to it. I'm actually quite happy with that. That's awesome.
Brood War was a real expansion, not these fucking
that's
fakey expansions we have these days.
No, that's why it was an expand-alone. You could play that by itself without the base game.
Could you? I thought Brood Wars actually needed... it's been a long time.
No,
I could have sworn Brood Wars needed it.
I'm pretty certain Brood War was expand-alone. Because it had its own encapsulated story, but if you had the base game as well, then you got additional units in the base game.
Look, I honestly don't know. It's been that many years. I'm pretty sure if I dig around, I can find my box copies of StarCraft 1 and Brood War.
Yeah.
I've got them somewhere.
Either way.
And I mean, most people pick them up as part of the battle chest, so you would have had both anyway.
I remember the battle chest.
Back when you could pick up StarCraft and Brood War, and then they had the Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne, and then Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction.
Yeah.
The battle chest was such a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
That's what they need to start dropping on Game Pass quickly. Like the old Warcrafts, StarCraft, I don't know if the older Diablo's on there.
No. Although you can,
so.
I don't think you'll get Diablo 1 on there because they let the licensing for Diablo 2 and its expansion Hellfire go to GOG.
That's
okay.
But they do have Diablo 2 Reforged. No, Resurrected, I think it is. The fancy HD update they did to not HD remake update they did to D2. I think that one they should put on Game Pass.
Yeah, definitely.
I would be all over that like flies on shit, man.
Like a fat kale and cupcakes.
Dude, you don't get how, like, I mean, you probably do. You probably played it as much as I did. D2 was like, that was the lightning bolt for me with Diablo.
Oh, yeah.
1 was good, but 2 was like, oh my god. And then 3 was a bit of a letdown. And I mean, I think we made our opinions on 4 pretty clear back when it came out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2 for me still sits in my mind as like, that was when I was all about Diablo.
Mm. Yeah. As long as they don't, fuck it up like they did Diablo, fine.
Well, the thing they did that I think was really good with Diablo 2's remake is they actually... So the visuals are just skin.
Yeah.
Underneath it, it's still original Diablo 2.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So what they did is they essentially... while the game is running, there's effectively a copy of Diablo 2 running, and that's what you're interacting with.
Yeah.
All they did was go, we're going to put a layer over the top of it that looks pretty.
That is the perfect remake.
Yeah.
It's like, I want that for more games.
I know, right?
Fuck.
So yeah, all the hit code and all that stuff, same as it always was, and it's running underneath the visual update.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to play that game. I haven't bought it or anything like that, and I don't even think I have the Blizzard installer installed anymore.
No, I purged that from my system a while ago.
I do, because I go back to Diablo 4 every now and again, because they fixed a lot of shit in it, and I enjoy it for a time sink.
Look, that is currently on Game Pass, and I have been eyeing it off, so...
Give it a go.
New expansion's about to drop.
Yeah.
Where they introduced the new character who has Beastmaster powers.
Yeah.
Well, the druid already has Beastmaster powers, where you can turn into a beast as well as have wolves and shit.
I think it's
you're a
more
shaman
like
or something. Yeah.
Basically, it's more like your take on like you tiger strength sort of thing instead of like I turn into a bear.
Essentially, what they've done is they've snipped one of the skill tree branches from the shaman. And it's like, and you're a character now. Let's expand on you more.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, which I like that idea. Someone who's specialized in a tree and knows. Like,
I'm only annoyed because the shaman in the previous game in D3 was my favorite character, and they were the pet class. And it's like there is no proper pet class in Diablo 4. Arguably, it's the Necromancer, but like they still haven't given enough support to minions to make that viable.
You'd be surprised. I run a fully minion build. All I do is like boost minions. And
okay, sorry.
I'm playing
for a casual
pretty high,
player like we do.
I'm playing pretty high content with it. Yeah.
But like people who want to like push the game and go deep into it, it's like you can't play that game that way.
No.
Whereas you could actually play some endgame builds with the original, with the Shaman in 3.
Good pet character would be fun again. But I might dive into the new DLC, actually test it out. Yeah, we've given enough time for them to curb their horrible ways.
Yeah, I mean, like Diablo 3 was basically hot garbage until they brought out their first expansion for that. Reaper of Souls fixed a lot of stuff to do with D3.
I'm also not paying them because I'm going through like Game Pass and it's going to their owner daddy. So
I mean, I already paid for it, so if I was going to pay for it, I'd have to install Blizzard's launcher again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I haven't actually tried to play any of Blizzard's games via Steam or Game Pass or anything. I don't even know if you actually have to fire up the Blizzard launcher.
I think it'll flash up for a second, but I think Steam has integration for it. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I checked because I haven't played Blizzard in a while.
No.
But I can guarantee you, when those StarCraft games drop, I'll play some Blizzard games.
We are just that abused person in a relationship going back again, aren't we?
Yep. Yeah, we are. So, the guys the day before guys are back. They want your money.
It's a bold move. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea.
I honestly don't know. They just seem to have thought they could.
Maybe they already drank all the last scam.
Do you think they're just trying to pull a Star Citizen?
Ooh, maybe.
No, they're not. They're not asking for enough money.
Yeah, they got to start low. Star Citizen didn't start asking for a lot of money either, but they eventually did.
No, they started off with like some.
It was looking for like $800,000.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking for chump change. It was asking for real money to start with. And then it's like, we're now like, what is it, like $54 million in?
Yeah. And still no game.
Yeah.
The game will never
We're not
release.
I'm gonna cut it now because we'll just start bitching about Star Citizen again.
Yeah, every time, without fail.
So basically they've come back, they did the whole day before scam. It didn't work. Mm-hmm. They ran away, gave everyone the money back, and buggered off. They've now come back and are like, second chances, guys. Everyone deserves second chances. We want to make this much smaller, much more reasonable game. Can we get, I think it's $25,000.
Yeah. And
this is just a junk. You're like, I just one more hit, man. Just one more hit. The bugs are under the skin and I'm itching. Just one more, please. Give me another go. What if
any more of them monies?
Yeah. What if they, I don't know, produce a product and then try and sell that?
I mean, apparently the Kickstarter comes with this little like Lemmings-looking kind of game, but people are already kind of pinging it, going, "We're pretty sure this is like another asset flip, guys."
Yeah, of Lemmings.
The idea is it's not a Lemmings thing. It's it seems like it's more like a rip-off of Fall Guys with level customization. It's like, yay. Who cares? No one wants another one of these. You're fine. You can either finance it or don't. Like, don't come back after having screwed over the audience and then be like, but please give money.
Well, the thing is, like, someone's tracked back a bit and found a very similar, it's like a template kind of thing for a training kit for learning how to make a game. So it's like, ain't fair. At least we know the game will be solid and will probably work.
And, like, I do agree, second chances should be a thing that they can have.
Yeah.
But, come back with something to prove that you've earned the second chance. Don't just go, second chance is good, right? Money?
Yeah.
This is a trust me, bro. I've got it this time. I definitely won't leave you with the check again.
Yeah, if you've fallen for this, you deserve to not have that money.
And the thing is, like, looking at their new systems, like, we're going to go be fully transparent and trust and honesty. Is like, the fact that you have to say that.
Yeah, it's
guys, come on.
Those things should be inherent. You shouldn't need to tell me that you can do them.
Yeah,
giving the money, you're literally just buying an education in stupidity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, due to law changes in the United States, PlayStation might have to start, admitting to the players that they don't own their stuff.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. When do we get to expand this to all games companies? Because
all digital media.
Yeah. Just fucking be honest. Just tell us, and then we're going to make you lower the price because we don't get to own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought this would have come about, like, years ago, when Bruce Willis tried to bequeath his iTunes fucking library.
Yeah.
And they said, no, well, you don't actually own it. You only own licenses. I thought it would have happened then. But
yeah, that's what I think. But apparently, they failed in the case or something. Or they basically Apple won. It's like, nah, go away. And everyone just accepted it. So.
Well, I mean, like, even if you have Steam now tell you, hey, you only own a license, it's not going to stop it being the largest digital storefront.
No.
Yeah.
But at least people are more informed.
Yeah, Oddly enough, it's actually, I don't think it would be bad for these companies. It would probably be better because when they take stuff away, it'll be like, hey, you already knew you didn't own this.
Exactly. Just be open about it and don't treat us like fucking, money bins for a little bit.
And all it would take is to change that button from buy or purchase to lease.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
It would probably still say to buy, but like they would have to make it clear in like the agreements and like when you first sign up with Steam, like you don't own this stuff. When you buy, you're buying the license. You're not buying the game.
But the problem is...
Basically, you can have options of, purchase access or purchase license.
The problem is with the definition of buy. If you buy something, it's inherent in the meaning of buy that you own that product. You have bought it.
Yeah, that's why they would have to make it very clear before you make any purchases that what you're buying is an access license.
Which mean it'd be almost easier to use a term other than buy.
Yeah, but they're going to want to have you see that once, not every time you purchase.
Yeah.
They're going to want you to have it see it when you sign up. And when they do, if they did an update changing that terminology, everyone, when they logged into Steam, would get a flag being like, hey, look at this, like when they do Steam, EULA updates. And then they would
go back to business
just tell you
usual.
there, it's a license, and then go back to just using buy as the terminology. But, hey, man, we already told them that what they're buying is a license.
It'll be a pop-up when you go to hit submit or complete. It's going to be like, hey, just so you know.
No, it'll only do it once. It won't do it every time.
Yeah.
No, it'll have the option to say, don't tell me this again, but they'll make sure it pops up every time.
No, I will guarantee you, unless legally enforced, they would do it once.
Yeah.
They want to be able to say they told you, but they don't want to remind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll pop up once. It'll be the size of the close button on an ad on your phone.
Or it'll be like, they'll pop it up, but it'll be like caged in some other updates. So like you can kind of skim it and be like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It'll be a headline, but when you click on the article, it'll just be a broken link.
No, I can see it being like, Steam update news. And there's like a couple of things, one of which is that, but it's buried in the middle.
Oh,
so if you skim down it, you're not going to see it.
Yeah.
They'll do whatever they can to tell you, but hide it. That's why I don't think they'd ever use like buy license as the buy button. They don't want to remind you it's a license. They want you to think you bought it.
Yeah.
But if they're legally forced to tell you that it's licensed, then they'll do it the minimum amount of times they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta love corporations, don't you? Gotta love them.
Although, what Valve's doing with Deadlock's really fun.
That is true. They do win us back with their shenanigans.
So, they recently put into a more open state the Deadlock MOBA game they've been working on. A bunch of people have said it's quite fun, but I'm not into MOBAs, so I haven't bothered to check it out. Although a friend of mine did give me access if I feel like it. But it's not my shtick.
Yeah, same.
But, so, of course, cheaters are a thing. It's an online multiplayer game. It's gonna happen. So, when they detect cheaters now, you get a little pop-up. At which point you can either vote to kick the person right now, at which point they'll be booted from your game and they'll get their ban because they were cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can turn them into a frog for the rest of the game, at which point they can't do anything, and then when either they leave the game or the match ends, they get banned.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that so much.
So you can either fuck the problem off straight away, or shame the problem.
I love it. It is just a shame button, and I am all for shaming cheaters.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's just kind of fun.
I remember this, like, it popped up on my feed recently, and it's just like, I was scrolling through, doom scrolling, as you do, and all I see is, like, this frog jumping up and down. I was like, fuck. And then a bunch of guys with guns swarming it. Like, well, now I have to find out what's happening here. So, oh god, It was a fun thing.
There's just something fun when developers take a little bit of joy in dealing with problems in their games.
Yeah. I still love the idea of putting all the cheaters in a server with only other cheaters. That was a great idea. Because just watching them get frustrated for hours.
Yeah, but then they pretty quickly figured it out, burnt the account, and moved on.
Yeah, but it was enough to be just like, you go in the shame pit for a while.
It only worked up until people understood that the shame pit exists.
Yeah.
Then they'd be like, oh, I'm in the shame pit. All right, I'm out.
See, this is why I want, with the frog, they can't let them log out.
Yeah.
Like, they can't option out of the server once they turn into a frog. No, you're in the shame pit. Stay. Because they're going to burn the account anyway. Might as well get in that 15 minutes.
Or even have
but you can't force a player to do that, and even then they just control shift escape and just kill the task.
Yeah, true.
But even if you have have a list, have the credits in the game, but have frogs, and then just list all the gamer tags.
Yeah.
I think that's a little more shaming than they want to do.
It should be done, though.
Well, it'd be a mile long, and you'd just be stuck on this fucking list of names.
Even just
it would just be the same name with a different number at the end.
Frogs this week or frogs today.
I wouldn't mind if they had, on their website, you could go to the frog count.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You, show me the last, 100 people who got frogged.
Okay, yeah, no, I'd be okay with this. The frog leaderboard, or, what's the, the thing from Zombieland? Zombie Kill of the Week? Just, Frog of the Week. This guy.
Time to frog.
Oh, God. Shortest time to frog.
How long did you get away with cheating? This long. Yeah.
Oh, yes. God, we're strange people. But,
yeah, we are. Although, Ubisoft thinks they can't just make good games anymore. I think they're a little weirder.
So they're finally agreeing with us.
Well, according to them, making solid games isn't enough. You have to make something that's extraordinary.
No.
But what if you just try making a good game? Because you haven't even done that.
It's like a kid who won't eat their eat of things. I don't like it. They've never tried it before. Go on.
Yeah. You used to be really good at this. You really used to like doing these things. And then you just stopped.
Yeah.
It's what were their last set of games?
Black Flag. Star Wars Outlaws. One of the Assassin's Creeds. Valhalla. Trying to go back. They did that Avatar game.
That reminds me, the Assassin's Creed thing again, we talked about last week. But they have come out saying after the debacle that was Star Wars, we're going to, test everything. Stupidity. At least they're learning.
Okay, so their last couple games and the TBA there, looking for actual things, not tiny shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Shadows is the next big one. They do their Just Dance stuff. Of course, Outlaws. They did that HD update for Beyond Good and Evil, which just made people want Beyond Good and Evil 2 more, which is now the longest game in development, having beaten out Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
They did that Prince of Persia game. They did X Defiant, which by all accounts is apparently doing quite well as a competitor to GOG, but apparently Ubisoft thinks it's underperforming.
They think everything's underperforming. Did it make its money back day one? No. Underperforming.
Skull and Bones, of course, which was an absolute sales fail, given the fact that they managed to make it worse than the sub-game inside of 4.
Yeah.
But essentially, the fucking ship was on the water, it caught fire, it sank, and then caught fire again. We don't know how, but it did.
But they've had 2 games, they've had several games since Black Flag to, tweak the mechanics and make them cool. And they did nothing with it. They made them worse over the, following games.
Yeah.
Which was annoying because, Odyssey really wanted you to use the boat.
Yeah.
It really did.
This was the quickest way to get around the map, was to just circle the coastline. But it's I don't want to be in your god awful boat.
Yeah,
they don't even sing good shanties.
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, but that came out. It's a badly made game because it's poorly optimized, and it came out well after the movie came out, so it wasn't even capitalizing. On a chance. I don't think Way of Water was that mind blowing, but at least when it came out, if you'd released the game then, there was a little bit of, like, re-interest in Avatar. Releasing well after with a poorly optimized snooze fest is not a good way to sell a game.
No.
Yeah.
They did Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was pretty middling.
Look,
then we're getting back to, like, you know, Rainbow Six Extraction, and then, yeah, we're back to Immortals Phoenix Rising. I forgot about that.
That was actually pretty good.
That
game was really good. They did
Yeah.
a bunch of expansion packs for it, which were good, and they'd set up for a sequel in Asia.
Yeah.
Instead of doing Greeks.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that sounds delightful. This game was great. It was essentially God of War, but for PC.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
And
I liked that game.
it came about because once they started doing the, like, digging into the gods for Odyssey, they said, holy shit, there's actually some pretty cool stuff in here. And so they expanded from there and made a game from what they'd found. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now they're just fucking sitting on the IP doing dick shit with it.
Yeah.
Same kind of stuff could be said for Watch Dogs. Yeah, Legion was a bit of a misstep, but, like, you could do something else with the idea.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Same as Division. Fucking just release another game for it. Shit.
Oh, yeah, they cancelled Heartland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
honestly,
that was going to be
entire
another
thing
free-to-play fucking
yeah.
piece of shit.
That wasn't looking great. But it just screams of, like, do this bare minimum. It's too hard. I don't wanna. It's like, just fucking do the thing.
What do you mean make it good? No.
Can't you just give us the money? Just eat the gruel. Come on.
I mean, the problem, I think, for Ubisoft is they've really dived down this open world thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, guys, open world's starting to become, like, a bad word.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel hype when I hear open world anymore. All I hear is vast amounts of fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Vast amounts of nothing and weird shit scattered everywhere that I have to go and collect.
I think, and like I know people will disagree with me on this. I think the most recent Jedi game, Survivor?
No,
Survivor was the first one. New Order was New Order the first one. Either way, yes.
Fallen Order was the first one.
Then Survivor was the second.
Survivor was the second, yeah.
So yeah, I think that one was about as open world as I really want a game to be.
Yeah.
And even that wasn't massive open plain.
No, it had one.
Yeah.
It had one open world, and it was the hub.
Yeah.
And all the missions you would do across the game would take you to all the edges of that hub.
Yeah.
You could go and explore them earlier if you wanted to, but sooner or later you would be taken past point of interest by just playing the game.
Yeah.
You wanted to collect everything. Yeah, you've got to push the barriers a bit, but, like, that's the point.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like, oh, yeah, this whole swamp, oh, yeah, that's not used for anything. It's just to make the world look big.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, and once you were out of that hub area, it was like curated path.
It was reminded me very much of the old, like, the Zelda games, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
You go to an area, here's your mission. Now do your thing. Now go to the next area, explore a little bit if you choose.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how I like it.
Yeah, same.
Like, I don't need to explore the entire fucking planet. Give me a sizable chunk of interesting landscape. I'll be there for a fucking while.
100%.
I'll go looking for cave paintings.
Don't fucking do a Starfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want a bajillion empty fucking planets.
Apparently there's like an update for that coming, and that's not being handled well, so...
I mean, the new expansion packs are coming out pretty soon for that.
Wasn't it out? Because it's already at mixed reviews on Steam.
Oh, it is? Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, it came out and just didn't do much.
I'm not keeping an eye on it, because I honestly can't muster enough energy to give a fuck about Starfield.
I mean, it also costs a decent amount for a fucking DLC.
Hell, I'll freely admit, I've actually started going back and playing Out of Worlds again, because I was able to get it and both its expansion packs for $10.
Actually...
And apparently those expansion packs are pretty good, so it's like, okay, sure, I'll jump back in for a $10 buy-in.
Yeah, I didn't hate Outer Worlds, but I was disappointed by it. I have been kind of, like, thinking about installing it again.
I think my biggest problem was when I played it the first time, I'd seen the marketing.
Yeah.
From the Fallout guys, and I was expecting so much more about the game. Now, going back to it, having paid to me, a fair price for it.
Yeah.
And meeting it on its terms, it's like, it's not that bad. It's not that good, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Starfield Shattered Space came out on the 1st of October and is at mostly negative with 1,262 reviews.
It's been 2 days!
Yeah.
What the
Well, that
fuck?
tells you how good fucking Starfield's doing.
Oh, god damn. I'm still annoyed I bought that game. God damn it.
It's weird because, like, you can track Bethesda essentially giving up.
Yeah.
One of the
This
top,
tweet.
one of the
Well,
top
just like-
comments
oh, no,
is
no,
DLC makes the game feel equally as empty.
Oh.
Well, yeah,
wow.
because it's like, oh, we added an entire extra quest line that takes up, like, 2 zones.
At least you're not buying them mission by mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I watched this video where they were talking about how, like, you know, Bethesda back when they did Daggerfall, back in the bad old days, that game, like, simulated, like, an entire continent.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, most of it was procedurally generated and not particularly detailed, but they did do that. They gestured toward what they really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then when they went to Morrowind, it got more detailed, but, like, condensed into the island of Morrowind. Although you ended up with Solstein and I can't remember what the area where Tribunal set is. But they were expansion packs. But, like, you know, magic crafting was still there. Combat was still arguably deep. It didn't hold your hand. You go to Oblivion, and they implemented the AI system for NPCs so they could make towns feel full. And then as they went into Fallout and Skyrim, they did a simplification of all of it. And then when you arrive at stuff like Starfield, where the AI doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
You walk around a city of people who look at you because you're the only thing of importance. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have anything to say. They don't have anyone to talk to.
They don't go home. They don't have routines. They just stay in one fucking place.
They
are
just
always there.
wander in a circle around an area to make it look populated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've basically
went
given
backwards.
up all the things that made Bethesda games, like, feel magical,
Yeah.
are gone.
Yeah.
The soul is actually gone. It's been
But
killed.
it was killed on the service of making it more accessible.
Yeah.
One of the things, like, it's really hard to get someone to play, like, Morrowind now, because if you go back to Morrowind, it's like, none of this makes sense. You can't level up, like, just in the world. You've got to find sleeping bags.
Yeah.
Like, you can gimp yourself if you tag the wrong skills as your level up skills. There's so many things that can just be broken in that game, and you don't know until you've fucked yourself over.
Yeah.
You could create spells with, like, costs of mana that was so astronomical you could never cast them because the game just didn't give a shit. It just let you do you.
Yeah. Or like the old mission style of head south of the town to the second fork in the road to find a rock and 120 paces to the left. It's like there's no marker? It's like, no. Good luck.
Yeah.
But you can actually get lost and die in the forest.
Yeah, and you
God,
literally
God.
read it once. And it's gone.
No, you would be in your quest
The
log.
quest log,
But you had
That
to
was a
open up the
fucking-
quest log, find the quest, look at the notes, and go, okay, so I found the fork in the road. That's probably the rock. How many steps is it?
Yeah.
Like, you had to engage with the environment and the quest system. You weren't just like, and hi-ho to the marker.
Yeah. Just follow the point, walk over the mountain. Done.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that's necessarily the best way to do it, but, like, they had intentions to make you feel invested and immersed in the world back then.
Yeah.
Now they're just like, what's the quickest way we can get you from point A to point B? They don't give a shit about you being invested, which tends to mean, like, we all bounced off Starfield.
Yeah.
We didn't even invest that much time in it because it felt empty and nothing felt like I belonged. I
Yeah.
was eternally an outsider in this game I'm supposed to be part of.
At least Outer Worlds had fucking character.
Yeah, I remember characters in that game.
Yeah.
I remember
I
the
remember
secret
Starfield.
diet toothpaste.
Yeah.
Dick
Yes.
shit about fucking Starfield, and I played it a bunch.
Yeah.
Outside of hating their level up system, which basically guaranteed you weren't using energy weapons.
Yeah. Energy weapons, non-violent tactics, melee weapons. They were all fucking useless.
They just handed you a gun and were like, go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that means I'm going to start leveling up bullet guns. And, well, I've got this laser gun, but I'm not skilled up to use it. So do I want to grind that or just keep using this very effective shotgun?
Yeah.
And a shotgun that works just as well as a sniper rifle.
Yep. Absolutely.
Here's a non-lethal weapon that doesn't work. Here's an entire quest chain that's about being non-lethal that you can be completely lethal in and give zero fucks about.
I mean, one of the dumb things was, like, you could find old world guns.
Yeah.
Which were better than new world guns. Dude, you have all the technology of the future and you can't make something better than a fucking pump-action shotgun from the bad old days? You fucking serious?
Oh, it was just so bad.
Yeah. Let's stop talking about this, because, like, we will just bitch about Starfield all over again. I think I'm going to have to put Starfield in the same box as talking about Star Citizen.
Yeah.
We've done it enough times. We've relitigated it enough.
We're running out of Star things to talk about. They're all on the list now.
Pretty much. So, a study was done using Power Wash Simulator that seems to say that it increases mood. But
Can't confirm.
I think that's less to do with Power Wash Simulator specifically, though.
I don't know.
So
that game's pretty fucking
Oh,
magic.
no. It is. It's fucking zen. I have played way too much Power Wash Simulator. I will freely admit that. Hell, I've even bought some of the DLC.
Shock.
Look, man, I needed to be out of Power Wash 40k stuff, okay?
Yeah, no, that is fair.
I was playing it the other day, just happily power washing along, doing fuck all, and then Mrs. walks in. She goes, "You're washing in a game. You didn't even like cleaning in the house." No, I don't. But I like this.
Look, if you want me to clean up the house with a power washer, sure, man, I'm on board. But like,
but I need to build up enough grime in the house so I can see the dirt. I need to see that effect.
This is how I finally enjoy cleaning. You give me like one of those surrogate robots from the movie, and then make it a game, and I'll probably do it. Just be fine.
If I ever buy a house, the entire kitchen is going to be stainless steel, so I can walk in with a pressure wash the entire fucking thing, and be done with it.
Yes.
But I think this is not necessarily to do specifically with Power Wash Simulator. They point out in this study they did that generally people found an improvement in move. There's your fucking fall over words for the episode. They generally found that the improvement in mood happened within the first 15 minutes of playing the game, and that was comparable to reading, shopping, or listening to music. Basically, leisure activities.
The dopamine hit.
Yeah. So I could absolutely see someone who sits down and plays fucking Football Manager for 15 minutes. If it's their thing, it's probably going to have a very similar effect. It's leisure activity.
Yeah.
It just happened that the particular study was done using Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah. But I still agree with it wholeheartedly.
So, Nintendo started getting a little more litigious about YouTube channels showing their content emulated.
Yeah, they are fucking on that war against emulation.
Well, I think they, like, despite the fact that, like, legal precedents have existed for long enough that, like, you can't stop people emulating stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you own it, you are allowed to make digital copies of it.
Yeah.
But they, of course, don't want people to think about it. And I think part of that is because Nintendo's products have been so heavily emulated over the years.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know, Xbox and PlayStation where it's been difficult, at least during the life cycle of the consoles, to emulate them. And some still haven't been. Like, you can't... Like, I've not ever seen anyone do a good emulation of a 360.
No.
Yeah.
So, you know, these sort of products, these sort of emulation tools exist, but Nintendo, it's basically like, if they put a thing out, there's a good emulator for it.
Yeah.
So I get the feeling they really want to stop people seeing that.
Yeah.
And thinking, oh, I can just emulate instead of buying.
It also does feel a bit like they're picking on me. Get them.
I don't know. Is it just me, or does Nintendo just feel like lawyer happy lately? I don't know. Like, I know they have been like they do get pretty litigious every now and again. But just in the last year, it's like they've, I don't know, just been a little more trigger happy with it.
I think someone's taken the leash off the legal division, because for a while they were really quiet. They didn't really do much in the way of big lawsuits. So maybe their guys are just getting antsy. It's like, I want this thing.
I mean, that or like one of the higher ups walked past someone's desk and was watching them. They watch a YouTube video and went, "What's this internet thing?"
Yeah, someone finally exposed the CEO to YouTube.
Well, it seems to be like the things that they're being litigious about lately have been like, you know, they had that whole thing where they were like, "We're not going to let people use in-game footage anymore. We're going to claim all that stuff," and then they eventually had to back down on that because, you know, fuck you, fair use.
Yeah.
But they were going to do it. And, you know, recently they did the Power World thing, and now they're doing this. It seems like they've just suddenly realized, oh, fuck, people consume our stuff by watching it.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
shit.
dare they?
And, like, you know, Linus Tech Tips has a video on how to set up Dolphin.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of companies that are just like, oh, yeah, here's how you set up an emulator for a Nintendo product.
Yeah.
So I get the feeling Nintendo's now at that point where they're like, okay, that's it. We're gonna start getting shitty about people showing emulated products.
I mean, the easiest way to fix that is to make your own emulator and then sell it.
Well, the problem is, like, even things like the Switch are part of that. Dolphin can handle Switch games.
Yeah.
But
So it's not just like their back catalog where, like, you know, for a long time they seemed to be very quiet about the emulation process on, like, the SNES and stuff like that, because, like, they were ancient. No one cared. And then eventually they started bringing it out digitally and they got shitty about it. I think right now they're more shitty about it because even their, like, current console is heavily emulated.
But, like, a lot of their older stuff, like, there's that thought that, like, 90% of all developed games are gone. Like, a big chunk of all developed games are gone. So that even a lot of their older back catalog games, they may no longer have the source code or license, like, a lot of shit that went into those games. So they may not be able to remaster without dumping a lot of cash to fucking redo a lot of it.
Redo it, yeah.
Which, it'd be fucking great if they could just, I don't know, make their own emulator, of course, and run the old fucking software, but...
Well, they do. Like, the way you run old games on, say, your Switch is by running it through the Nintendo-approved emulator that's on the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just make shit available.
They don't want you to have it for free.
No.
They want you to pay.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where it all
They
boils
want you to
down
pay without having to support it.
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah. It's...
But, speaking of money...
Editor Seth here. Just want to point out that I got a little bit of extra information about the MTG discussion we're about to have. Made a number of points based on what I understood to be what was going on, and that Wizards of the Coast had taken the Commander format from the Rules Committee. Actually turns out that due to the harassment they were getting, the Rules Committee gave it to Wizards of the Coast. I still think the points I made were valid, but understand that I am using slightly incorrect information while I make those suppositions. Alright, on with the discussion. Oh, you want to do the Commander thing now?
Yeah, we might as well mention it, because it's the same fucking vein of bullshittery.
Okay, so I'm going to explain a couple things about how the Commander format works, just because I'm the only person on this podcast who actually still plays Magic.
The rest of us beat the habit.
We both got out of the cardboard crack.
We mainline different drugs now.
Oh, look, man, I'm not super in. I'm a very casual player. The only format I still play is Commander, which is designated the casual format. It does have CDH, which is competitive, but I don't touch that. I'm not about that vibe. I like being able to sit down and play a couple friendly games with some people.
Yeah.
So, the way Commander is handled is there's the Commander Rules Committee, which is a group that is not associated with Wizards of the Coast. They're a completely separate body because Commander, oddly enough, despite the amount of product that Wizards makes for it, was actually a community-created format.
Yeah.
It's why it's called EDH. It used to stand for Elder Dragon Highlander. because your commander used to be one of the original dragons, and you could only have one of every card, and it's Highlander. So it was completely community driven, and they had a rules committee that was just made up of, very high, well-known people within the Magic community, but they handled the rules for that. And then they had a subgroup called the CAG, which is the Commander Advisory Group, which got a broader group of people invited to it so that the rules committee could touch base with heads of communities, people from the command zone and the like that were on there. So what happened is 4 cards got banned. Namu, Dockside Extortionist, Mana Crypt, and Jeweled Lotus. And they did not tell anyone at the CAG that they were going to do this. They didn't get any input for them on it, which seems a little odd. Their reasoning was they didn't want anything about it being leaked because some of these cards command a lot of money, and they didn't want any insider trading happening.
Which I get.
Arguably, then it's like, well, really, you should have only really had people you could trust with that sort of information on the CAG, because you are literally inviting them for the purpose of, will what we're about to do fuck up Commander?
Yeah.
And if you can't trust them to ask about a banning, why are they on your advisory committee? At
the same time, I can kind of see, like, the cards that were banned weren't exactly liked by most of the community. They are justifiable bans.
So, this is the thing. 2 of the cards were automatically understood by pretty much everyone, like, Namu was always on the... was like, time to ban when. It was toxic for the format and no one liked it. And Dockside Extortionist is a 2-mana card which just shits additional mana because it makes extra mana based on number of artifacts and enchantments other people control. And in a 4-player format, that's a lot. And Commander loves mana rocks, so there's going to be a lot of artifacts around. It could punch way above its weight class for 2 mana.
Oh, definitely. So
those 2 cards getting banned, everyone's like, we were kind of wondering when those things were going to die. Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus. Mana Crypt is 0 cost to play, flip a coin. Either you get 3 mana or you take 3 damage. And in Commander, where your life's 40 points, it's not really a downside. You may as well just get the fast mana. And Jeweled Lotus is 0 cost to play, crack it and sack it for 3 mana of your commander's color type. Notably, Jeweled Lotus was a card that everyone was like, you should never have printed this card. Like, this card is cancer. You got rid of Black Lotus because you thought 0 cost for 3 mana was too much. And then you printed it with a it can't be played in other formats, but in Commander, it's a non-effect.
Yeah.
Cool, you only get 1 color of mana from it, but you still get 3 for free, so, fuck off. There's plenty of cards or abilities that don't require a color, and you can just sink that mana into. So it's not surprising that, people were a little crappy about that. But the big thing is those cards cost between $150 and $300 or more per card.
Yeah. It's a lot of money.
And I've watched a bunch of videos from different people about it, and generally what it seems to boil down to is every single one of them agrees that those cards not being in Commander makes Commander better.
Yeah.
Because they are big explosive cards that can really power top one player very quickly. They essentially accelerate your mana by 2 or 3 turns for 1 card that costs nothing to hit the table. And they could either be at the start or later, maybe less effective later, but they really do punch up.
Oh, definitely.
So if you're sitting down at a table and some guy's like, it's a chill deck, it's fine, and then they bust out a fucking Jeweled Lotus, it's like, you lying piece of shit.
Oh yeah, if any 4 of these were in someone's deck and they just pulled it out of nowhere, you'd be a bit shitty. Because one of them is just one of those things that just sets up an almost infinite loop.
That's Namu.
Yeah.
It's got an effect that's supposed to only happen once per turn, but with Flicker and other effects, you can make it happen loads of times. And it basically is a combo extender.
Yeah.
And you can have 10-minute turns. It's toxic. And like I said, everyone was like, time to ban when.
Yeah.
No one was expecting Namu to survive. But no one expected Crypt or Jeweled Lotus to go. And I've seen all these videos and everyone's like, yep, it'll make the format better. But the money.
Yeah. Which is
everyone talks about the value that has been lost. The best example I've seen was someone talking about how, if you hit a button and 350,000 people just lost $300.
I mean, sure, but that's also not really losing money. An asset changed value. And that used to happen, happens every day with everything.
Yeah.
That's why the stock market exists.
It's a gamble. You're essentially gambling that this card will retain its value. And at any time, Magic could end and we're just not getting any more sets, so Magic's dead. Or, Wizard just collapses for some fucking reason.
Probably
or
because
something like this happens. Banning happens and suddenly that card's not worth it anymore. Or something comes out that's better and so that card just nosedives in value. There's all kinds of things that could happen. I mean, it's like bitching about Beanie Babies as far as I'm concerned.
What do you mean? There's risk on my investment. Damn.
It happens at least once a generation kind of thing. Beanie Babies, pop vinyls, Magic is just one of those things that's been around for so long that it keeps happening at certain points.
But I understand. I do feel bad for anyone who'd maybe just acquired one of these cards because they'll have just paid that premium. And a little bit of me is also to various LGSs who sell singleton cards who would have oh man, having these in our store, we'll make some money off these eventually. Someone's going to want them and we can sell them for real fucking cash.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for those people who have just lost a lot of money. But guys, if that's your only reason to not ban the card is that it was valuable, that's not a reason to not ban the card. And
again, it's only banned in Commander, not Magic the Gathering. If you go to the other systems, you can still use that card.
Like I said, Jeweled Lotus is basically functionless in any other format because it requires you to have a commander.
Yeah.
And Mana Crypt, modern, but modern's power level and cost to entry is very high anyway. If you look at modern viable decks, they're pricey.
Yeah.
And Limited doesn't care, and Legacy doesn't care. Legacy, it's too slow. Legacy, you have to really pump out crazy combos fast.
Yeah.
And they can still use other mana accelerators that are just as good. So even if it was banned there, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really just Commander where where those cards were really drawing that value from. And now they're fucking gone. So what did Wizards do about this? Well, Wizards decided to annul the entire its external to us thing, took the entire project in-house.
They took their battle ball and went home.
They took a fan-made thing and said, no, this is ours now. You don't get to play with it anymore. You're not playing with it the way I want you to. It's we wrote the fucking rules. Not anymore.
Well, the logical extension, as far as I can see for this, is simply Wizards doesn't like the idea that something outside of them could turf the value on cards. Because they have used Mana Vault and Jeweled Lotus to sell sets.
Yeah.
One of the Commander products had the Jeweled Lotus on the packaging because you could pull it in that set. And one of their later sets, they did alt art, and they did 6 of them, I think, in different colors of Mana Crypt.
Yeah.
So they used those cards to sell other sets because they're expensive. So maybe you want to try your luck with a set and maybe you'll pull it.
Yeah.
And now they can't because those cards are no longer viable in the format and thusly have no value and thusly they can't sell product off of the back of them.
It's just, I don't see how they think that they can wade in, though. Yes, they're using their cards for a separate rule set, but Wizards didn't write the rule set. So how can they annul these guys?
Quite simply, if you go to an LGS, most LGSs require you to essentially log into Wizards system using I think your DSI number, which is essentially a number for you to track within Wizards through going to tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And those LGSs don't get to do those things like run tournaments if they don't bind everyone to Wizards rulings. For a long time, people were allowed to use proxy cards in their Commander decks because some cards are incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
And you might not want to have to keep putting, unsleeving and re-sleeving a Jeweled Lotus to put it in every deck. A lot of people, they'd put a proxy in their deck and then they'd bring a binder with the real card in it.
Yeah.
So if someone was like, that's not a real card, they could pull the real card out and go, see, I actually own it, but I'm not going to keep changing it for every deck I want to put it in.
Yeah.
Or to have multiple copies of the card to put in multiple decks.
Yeah.
And yeah, they decided, nope, you can't do that anymore. We're not going to allow proxies at official things. And yeah, places like Vault Games, now you can't use proxies. Because Wizards put down, we're not going to let you use proxies in official stuff anymore. And if you want to get prizes or extra stuff or all these kind of benefits that LGSs get from being partners with Wizards, they have to do what Wizards says.
Yeah.
So basically, Wizards taking Commander in-house is going, okay, most people play Commander at an LGS, which means now we can control it.
I don't like that.
How long before a Commander starts losing popularity?
I don't think it will.
It'll splinter off into a different named thing, which the same thing that spawned Commander will happen again.
I don't think so.
It'll fracture enough people.
I think Commander's generally considered a casual format, so losing Mana Crypt and Jewel Lotus isn't a big deal to the actual format. Again, most of the big pundits on Commander have stated it's gonna make the format better.
Yeah.
To not have these in it. It's people who add value or people who played CEDH, and there is a big call for like, okay, you need to now make a CEDH ban list. So that if you play competitive, you can run Mana Crypt, you can run Jeweled Lotus, because it makes sense in that format.
Yeah.
In casual, it's more annoying.
I mean, yeah, it's just, I hate it. I don't like this entire situation.
Like I said, I haven't seen anyone give, and it's probably out there, and I mean, hey, if you're listening and you know what it is, or can point me to somewhere where someone's written it up, an actual good reason for not banning these cards outside of wow money.
Yeah.
Please tell me. I'd love to know. I will freely admit, I'm a massively casual player. I don't really like buying cards. I don't sell my cards. I love to collect. Like, a lot of my friends think I'm stupid because I have all these, like, cards I could sell for money in my binders, but I'm like, I don't want to. I like owning them.
Yeah, I got the card because I wanted the card. Leave me alone.
I mean, I might have pulled it from a pack, but I'm like, cool, a fancy card for my binder.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I do trade cards, but, like, I like getting something, not money. Like, I like I like to collect.
Yeah.
And dollar bills aren't collecting to me.
We're just raccoons. We like to, have shiny.
I'll freely admit, it makes no sense to people who are profit-focused.
Yeah.
Some of my friends are like, you could sell all those cards and buy a whole new deck, and then you've got new cards. My brain doesn't function that way.
My brain doesn't function. This is a hobby I enjoy. Must make money from it. No, I'm going to enjoy myself. Fuck off.
So I don't sell my cards. I do trade for value, but like I don't sell cards.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a nothing burger. But I freely admit I'm a massively casual player. I'm not that invested to the point where I'm like, I have a Mana Crypt because its value is high and I'll be able to get something for it at some point. Someone was one of the stories I was hearing that a guy's told his wife that if anything ever happens to him, call this guy and take him my binders.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. Because he knows what the value of the cards are.
Yeah. And
he knows that if she takes him to this guy, he'll sort her out and she'll be on a nice nest egg off of the cards he owns. But I'm not like that. And that assumes that at that time, Commander or Magic is still valuable.
Yeah.
And you trust the person. Because, holy fuck. This card is, $30. Yeah, sure.
They would definitely
in that story, it would be someone who was like a close friend. It'd be like me telling my girl to go see Swoosh to get rid of the cards. I would expect Swoosh to do well. Or not fuck him.
It's also like, if you take that exact scenario, though, and put it back to the Beanie Babies era...
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying!
I know. Anytime I hear people talk about Magic cards like this, it's like, that's cool right now. Like, you can see that value. Yeah. But, like, this card game's not going to live eternally. Sooner or later, it's gonna die.
Yeah.
Or interest will wane for whatever reason, and the value will go down.
Yeah.
You can't assume these cards will eternally be this profitable.
Yeah. once you got them, unless you're using them for something or you want to keep them forever, offload them. Like, if just don't hold on to them.
I mean, holding on to them is fine, but like, know that you might not.
Yeah, you have to come to terms with the fact that the amount will change. If you want that value, get that value now.
If the group that put the ban out on these cards has now been completely dissolved, does the ban still stand?
Apparently.
Because
okay, so the ban still stands. It's like,
I'm pretty sure I would have seen a bunch of videos of people being like, "Yeah, the ban got repealed," but I haven't.
That makes it worse in my mind because it's like, we agree with that ruling. You're dissolved though.
But
just like
I don't think it's more that like they'd get a lot of backlash if they were like, "Okay, we're going to take things internal. And we're just going to start rolling back things that they did."
Yeah.
I think they've gone, okay, we're not letting them do anything else. That's the last thing they get to fucking do. And then we're taking it internal so this doesn't ever happen again.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the motivation.
We're taking internal so we can print other cards that are very similar, but they're different cards.
Well, I mean, Jeweled Lotus was just Black Lotus again.
Yeah. All
Literally
they did
the
was
same.
make it applicable instead of just being like dark mana, it became any mana.
Any mana of your commander, which is essentially any mana. You can put it in any deck, it would do work. Yeah. But it was still 0 for 3.
It's one of those things, like, if your commander is red, but your entire deck is green, you've done something wrong. So, your commander's always the
that would be an illegal deck.
Yeah. But it's like, it's always guaranteed to be the prime mana that you need for that deck. So.
Yeah. There's got to be no mix-up. Even if it's like, it's a black, green, red. Cool. All the cards in your deck are black, green, red, and can probably use 3 extra mana for free.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of them, like, taking it in-house, though. And that's just because my brain is screaming at me that they didn't make it, they shouldn't be able to profit from it.
I mean, they have been, though. They've been, like, they make product that is specifically for Commander. They've even reprinted
that card has Commander on it. Like, they're acknowledging it.
Like, you don't go to a card shop and buy an EDH deck. You buy a Commander deck.
Yeah.
That is Wizards specifically making product for this format.
Yeah.
And they basically stayed hands off because the rules committee didn't do an awful lot. Or they banned, like, obviously bad cards.
Yeah.
Like, again, time to ban on Naru was a thing. Like, people knew that card was going away. It was toxic as hell.
Which is also a thing where I can't take them bitching about the price drop at all. Because, like, time to ban when? To me, if that's an expensive card, get rid of it.
I mean, Naru wasn't.
Wasn't he?
No. Naru was just a toxic card.
Fair.
And everyone knew it was going. Darkside Extortionist had some value because it was like the best mana ramp you could have in red. The other two were colorless cards that just had a huge value because you could cram them in any deck and get value.
But at the same time, like you said, it was basically just Black Lotus repainted. You knew it was going to be removed at some point.
No,
you can't bitch about it.
Every pundit was like they should never have printed this card. There was one guy who got to see it before it got run. And was like, told Wizards, do not reprint this card. This is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because they just printed Black Lotus.
Pretty much. That's why I can't take anything if he's going to money.
Yeah.
No, mate. This was always going to happen.
And again, I freely admit, I'm not in the speculator space. I don't really like speculator stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like... Oh, it might hold value. It might be valuable one day. I mean, I had a little bit of a run with comic books where I did that, where I'd get them in, get the cardboard backs for them and put them in the sleeves and all that. Until I realized, comic collecting doesn't work like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, comics aren't worth shitloads of cash. And it's a supply thing. Like, the reason Superman #1 is valuable is because most people back when they read that comic read the shit out of it, and then threw it away.
Yeah.
If you buy a comic book these days, there's a million other guys putting them on board and keeping them. They're not as valuable as they used to be. That's not to say they don't have value, and I don't want anyone coming and yelling at me for it. But it's not the same anymore.
Put the pitchforks down.
This is what made Mana Crypt so pricey, is it was a card that was part of a special thing at one point, and it was hard to get, and there was a limited supply. Then they ran a set with them, so they're more common. Now more people have them, and more people are feeling gypped that this ban happened.
Yeah. It's still dumb.
It's so cash focused though. That for me, that's the weirdest bit. I have ever since I came back to Magic because I took a big break, realizing just how much people only seem to value the value of the cards.
Yeah.
Not having a good time or the collection part of the game. It's a TCG. The C is collectible.
Yeah.
I mean, like
or trading.
Commander. Yeah. This entire thing of Commander coming about was because people wanted a casual experience. Because for a while, like one of the reasons I left Magic was you'd go in and you want to play a game, and you just went, I just want to play a game and have some fun. And it's someone playing like their tournament deck. And just like, mate, I'm here to have fun. Can you not be a little dick about things right now?
Part of it was also more that, like, Commander doesn't have... Like, you can use cards from the start of the game through to the current time in your Commander deck. So it gave people's collections value. Because now, oh, yeah, cool, that card I really like is not in set right now. Or can't be played in Modern, because Modern only goes back so far.
Yeah.
And Legacy is a whole other kettle of fish. Like, if you want to look into how crazy Magic, look into Legacy. But, you know, Commander came about because people had these huge collections of cards that couldn't play, so the community came up with a cool format that let you use those cards.
Yeah.
And that's how it's grown. And now Pauper's the big thing, and I'm waiting for Wizards to get their dick into Pauper.
What's Pauper again? I haven't...
Pauper's no card can be over, like, uncommon or lower.
Fucking love that.
So it's all the cheap dollar cards.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how they're going to sink their teeth in to fucking ruin it, though.
I don't know.
They'll find a way.
I mean, they haven't done anything to Commander yet. They've just gone, we're not going to let that happen again. We're not going to let a whole bunch of value get turfed out of this game because some group outside of us has decided it.
I know how they'll do it. They'll release the Common Lotus.
Shit like that. They'll start putting out Pauper decks and they'll suck, or they'll reprint something dumb in them.
They'll make an entire run of peasants as cards.
I don't know.
The Uprising card deck.
It's getting harder and harder to want to play Magic.
Yeah.
Because either you're on the speculator side of the bubble and are shitty about money, or you're on the collector casual side of the bubble and you're like, can people stop talking about money?
Yeah.
I'm wondering when they're going to start bringing out cards that don't affect the cards or the players, but they only affect things under a certain value. A 50-cent card that only...
value.
No, I play this card that only affects other cards that are worth less than 50 cents.
Oh, wait.
That would be absolutely unusable.
No, just imagine like a mini ban list for your own like game. Just like, all right, I have a card. It bans anything worth the current rate of X amount of money. They'd never do it. But it's just, so that guy with the Lotus in his deck's like, fuck!
It would be completely unenforceable because
absolutely,
fluctuations on card price would make it absolutely useless.
It would be hilarious though if someone's like, if that ever happened. It won't happen, guaranteed. But if they flopped it down in the tournament and the guy's having to like Google the net worth of his current card, it's just like, fuck, what can't I use anymore?
Yeah. So, between the, universes beyond where Magic's starting to feel less like its own unique setting and property, and this shit and like cash stuff, it's like, I love playing Magic, but like, god damn, it's getting hard to make enthusiasm happen.
Yeah, ironically, Magic no longer has any magic to it.
No.
Kinda.
It's a bit fucked. Maybe it's one of those things. I go back to Magic every so often. I kind of dip my toe in, get sick of it, go out and come back. At this point, I was thinking recently, I could get back into Magic, and then I looked at it, and I'm like, no. I don't think I can.
I still think there's enough value in Commander to tell people, like, you should play Commander.
Yeah.
But, like, that's it. I don't... And Pauper, I guess. I don't play Pauper, but, like, I can get why that one would be another one to, like, point people out. Like, hey, man, you want a nice low-cost entry? Go play Pauper.
At this point, I think it's more like, I just don't like Wizards and Hasbro and all the shit they're doing. And,
like I
there's
said,
a really bad taste in my mouth for those things
They
from them.
Again, they haven't done anything with Commander yet. They haven't fucked it. But now it's gone from the community-driven homebrew vibe it had, despite the corporatization of it already, to like, no, this is a product made by Wizards.
Well, previously, Commander was very much, we're doing this thing together. This is a group thing. And now it just feels like someone's taken your toy away. It's like, no. I control this. We only play if we play my game.
They haven't fucked it yet, but they have put a clock on it.
But,
pretty much. They've
They've
basically done that thing where it's like, all right, cool. Like, we're not going to fuck it. We now just have the opportunity to fuck it. We won't, though. We're not going to.
It's like, okay, they're going to release some toxic shit and it's going to get popular and rise in price. Does that mean they're not going to ban it?
Yeah. Like, I don't like the directions going from this.
Yeah. It's not great. Although, a lot of people have also stated, like Commander's a social game.
Yeah.
So if you've got your buddies around to your house, you don't have to ban them. You can let them play with them if you want to.
Oh yeah, I'm going to see it as like pool rules. Like every state in Australia has a different way of playing pool, and just like when you go, someone's like, all right, we're in New South Wales rules. If you're in Queensland, Queensland rules, or you stipulate we're playing these rules.
Yeah,
it's the same thing will happen.
I don't remember if I mentioned it earlier or not, but I'm going to reiterate it here if I did. A lot of this was because people were using these cards in settings where they probably shouldn't have. Yeah. Where people were getting shitty about it because generally with Commander, particularly at LGSs, they have what they call the Rule Zero discussion. Or Turn Zero discussion, which is basically you telling everyone else at the table, oh, my deck is X powerful.
Yeah. And
then you could like pick decks that would match that power so that everyone could have a good time.
Yeah.
And then, people would play these like crazy off-curve cards and be like, fuck you, this deck is clearly not that power level.
Yeah.
It seems to be that the rules committee's idea was that by banning these, you no longer have a faulty Rule Zero discussion. You just don't run into these anymore, and that'll be better.
Yeah. Which is fair.
Yeah.
It was
evaluating your deck power is something that you need arguably a lot of experience to do. I've had decks that have like absolutely gone off and look like these insane power tops, and it's like, oh no, that was a weirdly everything lined up in a direct line. Like none of this works like this. This deck is not that consistent.
The gods have smiled upon me to this day.
And everyone loves having that happen once in a while, but like those decks don't do that all the time. Most of the time, they're pretty middling. Yeah. Because like I said, I'm a casual player. I play for fun. I don't play for the oh yes, I stomped everyone at the table.
And more often than not, those people...
But
more often than those people kind of ostracise themselves at like card gaming sessions. So
unfortunately, this is the thing. By having really conglomerated all the players into LGSs, and this isn't against LGSs, I'm not talking shit on them. These players just get to kind of have a captive audience to stomp in the face.
Yeah.
Which again, is why I think they probably ban these cards.
It's a bit like spawn camping. It feels cheap.
Because you also hear like a lot of the pundits were like, "Oh yeah, I don't run Dockside Extortions. It felt like cheating every time I won with it." Yeah, but then there's going to be some scrub lord who fucking shitty today, and he's just like, "I'm running that deck."
That's their entire personality. They need to be that person.
Yeah. So it's weird to listen to. Like I said, I'm not invested enough. But yeah, all the pundits seem to be like, yep, it's good for the format, but wham money.
Yeah, pretty much. And these bans were pretty decent in my eyes. Like, they wouldn't have fixed the game overnight, because, blue decks still exist. There's always broken shit somewhere. But it would have, like, helped it there.
Yeah.
Never play pure blue unless you want to lose friends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. No one likes the pure blue deck sitting down at the table.
Not even the blue players. I swear, every blue player I have ever met who plays a pure blue deck has been self-flagellating. It's like, I'm so sorry!
They apologize while they make it so you can't play the game.
Yeah. No, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, this is so terrible. Whatever will I do? That's all it fucking is.
Yeah, that or it feels like the person just slaps your phone out of your hand when you're on it. Like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, but I want it. No!
That cool thing you were going to do? Nah, we're not doing that.
Yeah. We just need an entire podcast one day on Magic the Gathering and just the shit that it does. It's a strange hobby.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the big thing that happened. Big banning, a lot of cards lost value, and then Wizards took it internal.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a bit insane.
Yeah, wait till they fuck it up. Won't be long.
Look, like you said, there's a clock on it now.
And we are out past an hour by a notable amount. We managed to talk for almost 30 minutes about Magic.
I told you this would be like the meat and potatoes.
I know. But before we go, I do want to quickly hit one news article we didn't get before we did the Magic discussion. So hopefully you've made it through that and hear this. And I have this horrible feeling of like people disconnecting as the Magic talk starts.
No, we go just chop and change it.
I mean, I won't. I'll let it flow. I really wanted to just quickly jump on, like, some people got into a car accident in an Uber and they're being prevented from suing Uber because of the agreement they had with Uber Eats, which says, if you're suing Uber, you have to do arbitration. They're pulling a Disney.
Like, did they not learn? Like,
well, given the fact that Uber has gone to court over whether or not they're allowed to do this and won.
Yeah.
Uber's gonna go a little harder than Disney did.
Because like they lost the first run at it, and then they appealed to a higher court, and they said yes.
Yeah.
So at this
basically,
point, the only...
a lower court said that because the thing was caged inside of all the legalese, buried in a 25-page EULA, it was unenforceable. And then the higher court was like, no, they signed up to your EULA, you can enforce it.
There's only a couple of ways that this can be overruled. One of them is if the poor guys who got shafted in the higher courts somehow managed to go through the appeals process, which is going to be pretty hard for them to do, because it's going to be expensive as fuck. Or another high court justice or judge goes, no, and contests the ruling, and that's going to take years alone.
Yeah, but because there's already precedent, the chance of that is decreased.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Every precedent fucks it and cements it further. So,
although, given the fact that Roe v. Wade got overturned, that means nothing's eternal in their system.
Yeah.
Look, the American system, if you pick the right state to make the lawsuit and the right judge, you're sitting pretty.
Nothing's eternal unless it goes in the favor of corporate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even then, it can be made uninternal, but it'll last way longer than it should.
Yeah.
All these big companies basically going, you can't sue us, is bullshit.
Yeah.
Especially because, again, it's couched in legalese, hidden in a massive EULA that is absurd for anyone to reasonably be able to read. It would basically be going, oh, you want to get food delivered? Cool. Take this to a lawyer and have them go over it so you actually know what you're signing up for.
Pretty much. And honestly, I work with lawyers. A fair few of them was like, the terms and conditions don't make sense. Yeah. We've read them, for Apple and shit. It doesn't make sense. You can't support any of it.
And unfortunately, a lot of things are entrenched, Steam. Cool, you have a big Steam library. Oh, you don't agree with the new EULA? Cool. Well, then you can either not use your account or delete it. That's it.
Yeah.
You lose everything just because you don't want to agree to the new EULA.
Yeah, well, that's sort of where Hasbro fucked up with D&D. They tried to make a new EULA that was retroactive. No.
None of that. No.
But, they got caught out.
Yeah.
So many of these companies do small changes now and then, and they slip through.
Yeah. They slowly erode, mostly. These guys tried to take a chip off in one go. Say, no. So they're not going to change the way they're doing things. They're just going to slow their tactic down.
But Uber's going to get away, likely going to get away with it. I really hope we read some article in the next week that's this didn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much like with Disney. And I find it kind of annoying while people aren't talking about it. I have not seen any of the big groups who are all shitty at Disney being shitty at Uber over this. Which is why I wanted to talk about it even though we're out past an hour. Damn it, now Squirrels ran away with the point I was trying to make.
They do that. They are conniving little fuckers.
Companies like this, they slide these things in small bits, and then you agree to them. not knowing that that's what's happened. You know, they'll be like, there was a change to the EULA. Please agree to the new EULA. What changed? What did you do?
Yeah.
Where in the 75 pages is the alteration?
Like, if games have to have patch notes, so the user agreement. Like, just give me the patch notes. Tell me what's changed.
So, you know, they're hiding this shit in there, and they're just going to keep getting you to agree to it, and then be like, well, you agreed, man.
Yeah.
How was I supposed to fucking know? Hell, how would... I think until, like, most people, if you went up to them and asked them, what's arbitration, they wouldn't even be able to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Let alone be like, oh yeah, I'm going to agree to do that.
Pretty much.
And it's bad. Don't agree to arbitration if you can.
Yeah. Or if someone wants you to go to arbitration, it means that they are afraid of it being an open court.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's definitely reasons to go to arbitration. It's faster.
Yeah.
And can just get things sorted. The problem is, most big companies that want you to go to arbitration, so they can't get bad press because they'll probably put an NDA into the agreement, and they don't have to tell anyone about it.
Yeah, that's half the point. So just don't do it.
And like one of the things, like a lot of companies are incorporating in Texas because there's a lot of right-wing judges there. So when they do arbitration, they're like, oh yeah, we're already going to have a judge that's already sympathetic to us, let alone you. So it's only in big court. Whoever's setting up the arbitration, it's in their favor. And it's always going to be the big company that sets up the arbitration.
Absolutely. So don't do it.
Yeah, and it's just one more example of this shit creeping in. Don't be okay with it. Be shitty about it. Because these companies are going to keep doing it and eroding people's ability to deal with them when they do bullshit.
Like,
and again, this dude was in an Uber and is being held up over the Uber Eats agreement.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like, I can understand Uber Eats having that kind of thing, because you're not... Like, if someone got food poisoning and died, you know, arbitration for that is, we're so sorry, here's money.
Well, I'm pretty sure in that case, Uber would be like, no, fuck you, restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but the particular one is for injuries from accidents to do with Uber.
Yeah.
But it's in the Uber Eats clause is the one that they're using as a reference for this case as to why he can't sue.
Yeah. For some reason, they don't seem to realize that it's that instance of the agreement. Okay, this product on that one, yes. Not this.
But it says Uber in general.
Yeah.
It doesn't say Uber Eats because they're not a separate company.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing that happened with Disney when they're like, you signed up to Disney Plus and said you can't sue Disney, so...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And look, if this shit goes through and gets allowed and precedent happens, it's going to get worse.
Fucking absolutely.
We are on the way to megacorps, and I really don't like that.
Yeah.
Because guaranteed, Amazon already knows the value of a human life in their eyes.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're getting that close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so, yeah, sorry on that slightly depressing note, but I really wanted to get that out there, because like I said, I haven't seen it reported by anybody else, so...
Yeah.
I feel like we should be said. That it's still happening. It wasn't just Disney. Other companies are doing this shit too.
And they're going to keep pushing it until they can all get away with it.
And guaranteed big companies don't want people hearing about it, so we're going to say it.
The random idiots down under.
These three guys in the middle of nowhere.
The pain of their existence.
This arbitration clause doesn't affect us.
Yay!
Because we're not in the States. But, you know, a lot of people are, and they should be aware of it and stop pushing back. But yeah, on that slightly depressing note, I think we'll finish things up. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.